Good morning, and here we are on day 7. I'm losing track of the days here. I'm getting really sore and achy this morning from all this scraping and sanding my arms and stuff. So, anyways, I'm gonna map out my measurements today over here as far as where my tile line is going to be, where my cabinets are going to be, how much space I have either way, and then start drawing lines on my wall, my newly painted wall. I'm going to start drawing some pencil lines to show where I want to put everything, because I'm going to need help holding the cabinets up to screw them in, and I'm going to have to mark my studs, which are the main supports for the cabinets. So I'm gonna get my stud finder from downstairs and a carpenter pencil, and I'm gonna start marking some lines. Now, one of the things I found is that nothing is square in this house, so I can't necessarily measure from the floor up and expect that it's going to be the same on this side. So I'm also going to have to grab my level to make sure that my lines are level, because, well, I'm taking the floor up too. So I'm going to measure from the floor up. I'm going to measure from the ceiling down, and I'm going to try to get the most closest possible line and level it for all of my things that I'm doing on this side. And I was looking at my dishwasher because I want to take this cabinet out. So in the back here, we have the lines from installing the dishwasher through the cabinet, which I didn't realize that we had poked a hole in the cabinet. But well, how else are we going to do it? So anyways, in here, you'll see in the back, there's a silver line that connects to the water line. So I'm going to turn that off. Disconnect the water line, and then the hose up there is the drain line, and that goes into the drain here, which I don't have to turn anything off in order to do that. So I have to disconnect it though. Disconnect that one, and then it looks like I can pull the cabinet out. It doesn't look like it's secured in any way. So, I don't see any screws holding it in. So I'll do that. This is already freestanding, so I'm gonna move that over. Cut my counter. So we looked online at some counter options. They have counter resurfacing, they have counter stuff, and so I think I'm going to try and save the counter as much as possible. I'm going to cut it down to the dishwasher size. I'm going to put a board on the side. I'll get something nice and paint it white to cover the side of the dishwasher on the inside there. And then I have my space, my nice clean space here, which will be done for the refrigerator. And tile here. So I'm going to continue working here. I've been filling gaps along here. It's hard to fill them sometimes completely because the stuff wants to, it gets heavy because you're doing so much of it, and it starts to drip off or drip out of the space. So you just got to do little at a time. Whatever sticks up there, add more after that's dry. It'll hold the new stuff in. I'm going to screen this, add another layer. This here is mortar or concrete or plaster. This is actually considered like a skim coat that smooths it. So this is very raw wall here, and I need to smooth it out with the drywall compound. Whereas this is a different color. This is actually a skim coat consistency. So for all the gray that I have here, you'll see I have big ridges, big marks from the tool, and then I gotta put the white compound on and smooth it out and screen it and sand it and add more and smooth it and screen it and sand it and again and again and again until we have what we have over here, which was my smooth wall. For the most part, I see a little spot there. So that's what we have. So when I go downstairs, I'm going to get the pencil, the level, circular saw for the counter. Pencil, level, circular saw. I'm going to see what I have as far as screws. I need the screwdriver, the screw gun, tools to get that apart, which is going to be like 2 pliers probably. That other clamp I can take off easily enough. And that's how we're going to start. So we had talked about yesterday, I was talking to somebody and I had said something about, well, it's going to get done as fast as the stuff is going to dry, which is true because everything I put on needs to dry. So I had scraped and, coated all of this white stuff yesterday. It needs to dry before I can do anything and reapply. So while I do a little bit here, coat, let dry, I scrape the rest of the wallpaper. So before I start monkeying with this, I'm going to do some screening and mudding so that while I'm working on this is drying. So it's like a coordination of all these things. So while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'll draw the pencil lines and measure the cabinets again and stuff. And while then I'll do a little more mud, then I'll do a little more measuring. So I'm back and forth. So my day, you may not look like I'm doing a whole lot. Well, it's only because I can only go as fast as the stuff dries. And we're in the middle of winter, which is hard to get ventilation, and it's also very humid in these last couple days. We're expecting like 2 inches of rain. So I'll be running my fan today, probably open the window. It's like 40 degrees out today, so I'm going to try and get some air in here. And then hopefully the stuff will dry a little bit quicker. But like I said, with the humidity, it's going to be hard. So that is what we have today. So, and then tomorrow, well, I'm not working all day today. I have plans later. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go pick up the tile, which is going to take me a time to sort through these tile boxes and get a sufficient amount of the same tile. I'm going to need a rounded tile for the top, and then I don't know what I'm going to do for the bottom. I'm thinking I'm going to do a straight down to the floor and put a molding tile on the bottom because, like I said, my floors probably are not even, and I have to take up the floor before I can set it all the way down to the floor. And if I put it on the floor and start my first row like that, I'm almost guaranteeing that by the time I get up here, it's going to look off because nothing in this house has been square. It's just, it looks square, but in the end, it's not. So I want to make sure that I have a nice even line on the bottom, and in order to do that, I'll probably have to raise it off the floor, and then after I finish the floor, put a wood molding down. So there we have it, friends. That's what I'm doing today. I think this is day 7. everything is running together. I had a busy day yesterday, and it's going to be a busy day today. So